Good morning everyone, today we're going to be talking about SEGA is looking for a new lead game designer. Yes, they've actually posted a new job opening for the lead game designer. Now don't be mistaken, this is not a game director. So director is what Hamazaki is doing right now. You know, he's directing the game, he's the big cheese. However, the lead game designer plays a very big part in dictating the future of New Genesis. But before we jump into that, if you're new to the channel, I'm trying to hit 50,000 subscribers. If we manage to hit 50,000 before the end of the year, I will shave my head bald. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. So over here is the SEGA career site, and we can see that they are currently looking for a lead game designer for Phantasy Star Online 2, as well as a game designer at a team member level for the Phantasy Star series. So these are the only two positions where they specifically stated that it is for the Phantasy Star Online series. Well, I guess for the lead game designer, it's specifically for PSO2. You can see over here there are other positions, so like producer and director. Unfortunately, there is no opening for the director for PSO2, so this probably means that they've already found a director, maybe like the episode 6 director, or they're sticking with the current director, which is the episode 5 director. But honestly, because they have this job opening, I am assuming that they've switched directors and this new director has specifically requested a new lead game designer on their team, and this is why there are two new job openings right here. So let's take a quick look at what it takes to be a lead game designer. This position is responsible for lead game design of titles related to Phantasy Star Online 2, and then they give a short introduction over here saying that PSO2 came out in 2012 and then New Genesis came out in 2021. Then they've got a link to their official website. Now, as for application requirements, development experience with medium or large scale online RPG or consumer game, action or RPG titles, or development experience with large scale smartphone titles. Experience as a lead game designer or director, so you have to have been a lead game designer or a director before, and at least 3 years of experience with in-game specification supervision and implementation supervision. And it says over here that the experience is an absolute must. Experience with specification of areas such as gacha design and operation events or KPI analysis and optimization is not sufficient. So they really want people with hands-on experience who are willing to get their hands dirty in order to fix a lot of issues. So this is pretty interesting because normally upper management, you just kind of manage people, right? You make the decisions, but you let other people do all the heavy lifting. In this case, they expect you to also be able to do the heavy lifting on top of being able to make the hard decisions. So preferred background, a regular gamer who is very familiar with overseas games, online games, and home console RPGs. The big highlight over here is overseas games. I feel like they are putting a huge emphasis on making sure that we don't only appease to the Japanese audience, but the global audience is very important to us as well. So this is very, very important, very, very nice that they're looking for people who have experience with managing or working on titles outside of Japan. Then of course we got the regular stuff, a strong team player who is easily forming trusting relationships with team members, bright and cheerful personality with excellent communication skills, be in good health, responsible, and a positive thinker. So you know, this stuff over here is the same old, this is pretty normal. It's just this part right here with the whole overseas games, this was very, very interesting to see, and I'm hoping that they are gonna improve things. Then of course employment type, it is a permanent full-time employee. Then you can click here to apply for the position. So for any of you game designers out there, if you guys are looking for a job or if you want to save PSO2, you can come onto this website and apply for it. I will leave this link in the description below. However, let's talk about what this means for the future of New Genesis. Keep in mind that the lead game designer is not the director. The director is above the lead game designer. So what exactly does the lead game designer do? Well, over here we can see that one, they do drafting and preparing plan proposals. So in general, this work involves planting the seeds for upcoming games and development for their core concepts. At this stage, it is essential to convey the unique aspects and features of a game to all creative staff involved in its production, such as artists and programmers. Accomplish this requires both an abundance of creativity and perhaps more importantly, the ability to precisely yet concisely express ideas. That is point number 1. Point number 2 is creating and managing data as well as balance adjustment. Many staff members are involved in the development of a single game. Game designers prepare specification documents that organize elements such as gameplay concepts, graphic design, controls, music, and sound in order to convey vital information to each staff member. As work proceeds, game designers will liaise with team members to confirm if specifications are being followed and make adjustments based on their feedback. Game designers also carry out balance adjustments for factors such as difficulty and consistency, which are essential for creating an exciting game. To accomplish this, game designers draw upon broad base of a game-related knowledge, a well-developed stylistic sense, and information from a variety of genres. Point 3. Production process management. Game development is a joint effort involving many staff members. Creating an excellent game requires planned goals and concept along with the designer's own wishes to be clearly communicated. At the same time, it is important to be attentive to feedback, concerns, and advice from the team. Many staff members involved in the creation of a game are very passionate about their area of expertise. This means guiding a group towards a singular goal will require excellent leadership, communication, and social skills, including good etiquette. Game designers will call upon all of these skills as they lead a project towards delivery within the established time frame while managing overall quality. And last but not least, we have the operation side of things. This role involves drawing upon data resources used to implement events, policies, and such. This area is particularly of critical importance for the success of the free-to-play games and online games. Operations include a wide variety of tasks. Staff members analyze a ton of operating performance indicators, including user numbers and persistency rate, in order to identify issues, propose improvement plans, and design policies. Now, keep in mind that this is just a small subset of the work that the operations entail. The full scope of duties will vary greatly depending on the projects and the time of year. Game designers understand how to make an exciting game while using adaptive approaches to precisely predict trends and user needs throughout the industry. Technical knowledge is also necessary, but game designers must have excellent initiative, a passion to learn, a strong sense of responsibility, sharp judgment, and a wealth of experience above all else. So the TLDR of all of that is game designers perform a variety of tasks, including drafting plans, preparing proposals, creating specifications, managing data, balancing adjustment, managing the production process, and operations. That is literally the TLDR of what the game designer has to do. Now remember, the position that is open is lead game designer. So they are the big cheese for this aspect. So they have to do all of this stuff and they have to manage it all and report it to the director. Then the director says, okay, that's a great direction, I think we should do this, give the stamp of approval, and then they move on and they continue. So the game designers are doing a lot of the heavy lifting, but this is actually really good for us, the consumer, because this means that SEGA understands that they're not doing a great job with New Genesis right now. As we can clearly see, the active player base is just shrinking smaller and smaller and smaller, and the popularity of this game has pretty much died out, including all that hype. So they understand that, hey, things need to change. So they're bringing in fresh new game designers in order to see, okay, this is our current system, what should we be doing, what should we be changing, what should we be adapting into NGS so that people will be incentivized to play this game. So this is all good and dandy. However, do keep in mind that this position just opened not long ago. So we will still be in the current state of New Genesis for quite some time. I would say at least 6 months to a year before we see some big major changes, because as a new lead game designer comes in, you got to give them some time to fix everything. They're not going to come in and fix everything overnight, right? We can take Final Fantasy 14 for example. When that game originally released, it was a dumpster fire, and it took them quite some time. It took them like 2 years before they got out of that slump and the game slowly became better. And look at it now, it is doing very, very well. So hopefully with the new lead game designer that they eventually do find, and with the new changes coming in, I hope that PSO2 will eventually improve. However, I'm not holding my breath. Just keep in mind that SEGA is a Japanese company, as a lot of the Japanese player base has already accepted. Changes are extremely slow, so don't get your expectations too high. Don't expect the game to be saved in like 3 months or 6 months. It will take time. I'm personally thinking 8 months to a year before NGS comes back to its glory days. But obviously we still have the October patch as well as the December patch to look forward to. Maybe they've got a lot of content already planned for us, but you know, I would rather keep my expectations low and be pleasantly surprised than keep my expectations high and be really disappointed. Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye!